stage. Hell yes.
Alright, should we be seeing troll bands and sniper bands?
Oh,
That's
I
what I'm
expect it. And that Bat Rider. No one wants to deal with that Bat Rider.
Now there's the troll, boom, right off the bat, gone.
Easy as that. Easy as that.
Alright, so what are the strategies we're going to see today?
I don't know. I think we will see kind of a lot of similarities between the matches in terms of pick and ban today and what we have seen throughout the tournament already. So there's a Storm pickup, ban, sorry, not pickup.
Early storm ban, very interesting. Maybe they want to leave. They want to see if the Team Howick are going to leave sniper in the pool for them.
Oh come on, no one likes playing against a Storm. He's seriously annoying. He's
but
one of
banning
those
him now
heroes
also
where
means that it's good pick up the sniper.
yeah, where very early game you can kind of deal with him in lane. He doesn't, he's very vulnerable to ganks, etc. But once he hits that level 6, he can really kind of jump into team fights where he needs to and be around those kills that he needs to, and then really accelerate that farm. Especially with the amount of damage that he can pull out on creeps, potentially killing jungle stacks, all that kind of thing. Get those items he needs. Everyone, there's a ban of a Quap again here, so they're banning out a few of these high burst damage mid lane players. Also, with Quap's ultimate now being pure, it pierces spell immunity now?
Yep, here's the straight spell immunities.
Yeah. So, and there's a sniper ban out as well.
So we're not going to see any of the big guys out.
Nah, the big guys are all gone. So, yeah, that's another reason why you like to ban the Queen of Pain at the moment. She's very good at controlling that mid lane and controlling the tempo of the game, and plus, she transitions pretty well into the late game with the fact that her ultimate can deal that damage through BKB targets.
And then you get the scepter pickup, so you get the earlier cooldowns on it. It's
Yeah.
more useful.
That 40-second cooldown, you can repel pushes, etc. with it. Becomes a lot more versatile. As we go into the first pick here for Team Howick.
You wouldn't want to reveal too much here. I think you'd be looking more at like one of your supports, something that's very versatile, maybe.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of Axe first picks, so I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened instead. But they are eating into some reserve time here.
Yeah, it seems a bit early to be eating all the reserve. So there goes the axe.
Yeah, called it. Hell yes.
Called it. Getting better at this.
First two picks here. So again, there's the advantage to being able to pick first is you get to pick that hero that you really want, and so they can pick up that axe, which is it's been first pick a lot in this tournament, but the other advantage you get if you don't get to pick first is you get to pick two heroes at once, so you can really pick a couple of heroes that combo well with each other without having them banned out by the other team, and so we may see something like that happen here from ClickTime.
5 seconds remaining.
Can't quite remember what they used to pick up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't quite remember what they did either. You could go take a look on Anzac Dota, open up the tournament, open up their team, and see what picks they've had if you want.
Yeah, I will.
So we've got Lion. He's probably and frequently in these games plays your number 5 support. He's obviously got the 2 disables a great early game, and the mana drain lets him survive on lane and deal with something like if they pick up an SK, etc. It's pretty good against that.
The problem you do have with the hero though is he is a greedy support, so he will take your kills and he does stuff like that because that's what his ult does.
Yeah, but the thing is his ulti is also fantastic for securing fast kills, quick pickoffs. He's amazing like that, and when you manage to, and it can take quite a while because he usually plays that number 5 support. But when you get that Blink Dagger up and running on him, he provides an amazing initiator. Someone akin to kind of like an Axe, which they have on Team Howick there.
Magical Axe.
A magical Axe. Axe runs!
I do think one of the main things that is very good about Lion, though, is during the early game, he can really just make sure that the offlane is shut down. Stuns into a lot of mana drain can really, really slow down any offlaner's ability to survive in lane.
Yeah, and with the double disable, it's very hard for the offlaner to be able to fight into him, because if he needs to, he can always just kind of pop that hex and walk away.
Very early silencer pickup, I think.
Yeah, it is. I wonder if we'll see kind of a hard counter to the silencer coming out from ClickTime, or someone that can really initiate on him, because that global silence becomes a really big threat all the time, really. But the later it goes, the kind of more effect you see it have on big team fights and things. We haven't really talked about the Sand King pickup from ClickTime, so
That's one of their supports I've played before.
Yeah, it's a very versatile hero. I mean, we talk about his ability to kind of be everywhere he needs to be. Sand King's one of those heroes that kind of just turns up wherever and throws his stun out, and he can get that very fast blink dagger timing because
10
of the
seconds
sandstorm
remaining.
and his ability to farm stacks and things in the jungle very easily. So
5
he usually has
seconds
quite a large game impact
remaining.
because of that ability. We see the Bat Rider ban coming out in the second phase.
Reserve time.
Definitely a possible pickup for the team, but still, I wouldn't run that as a straight core at that point, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting ban at this point in the game, but
You'd think
obviously
maybe
still
you'd look
don't really want to
towards their
face it.
offlaners,
Yeah, well, the Bat
but
Rider, he can offlane decently. Secondly,
considering a lot of the mids are gone.
you can throw him into that jungle. The Bat Rider can actually mid lane as well. And thirdly, he's a pretty good hero at being able to pick off that silencer.
Hmm.
And of course,
Seems
you're
like
going to
a
be
very
relying
interesting team
fairly
pickup here.
heavily on that silencer ulti here. Obviously, a well-timed silence from the silencer ulti can actually even interrupt the Sand King ultimate and render it completely useless here. So the other thing says,
Yep.
what was I going to say? With the Axe and Silencer, if you look at the two picks from both teams, we're eating up a ton of reserve time just for a ban here.
I
If
think
you
it's
look,
to plan more further picks, to be honest.
yeah, but if you look at the type of picks of both teams, we've had kind of both your supports, probably your number 4 and 5, maybe 3 and 5 here with the Sand King Lion on ClickTime coming out compared to your offlaner slash jungle, quite a farm priority here on the Axe, and the Silencer who often doesn't kind of have a really big often not given a hell of a lot of farm to start off with, but also can be. But usually played
10
as your
seconds
support, you do want to get those
remaining.
levels on him to get an early 6.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
the
No.
kind of difference
Remaining.
in the picks they've had is quite a lot. So we're going to see them kind of transition the other way as we come further through, unless we end up with quite a greedy lineup on Team Howick.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think that will definitely change.
So we've got
Um,
Earthshaker and Witch Doctor banned out. So we've got, well, I mean, Earthshaker's obviously got a great AoE damage, but
yeah,
often played as a 5 support here. So you really just kind of defensive,
I
mainly
think that
defensive support, or with smokes and the fissure block for aggression.
10
I think
seconds
they're just fearing the
remaining.
late game in this case, so removing any of those late game stallers, like
5
Earthshake is one of the greater
seconds
ones for it.
remaining.
Yeah,
Um, but even then, I'd be looking to maybe ban Spectre a
Reserve
little bit later
time.
into this.
yeah, you can,
Been a common pickup for this tournament.
you can combo that Witch Doctor really well. The Maledict is quite brutal later game. You see things like that. The Earthshaker can do a lot. He's a very good counter initiator. You go somewhere and he can really stop your gank with that really long range fissure block plus stun. It's fantastic for that kind of thing. And we see a hard carry actually banned out from from not Anzac Dota, Team Howick here with the
Yeah.
Phantom Lancer.
A very
10
game
seconds
oriented one, but one that was
remaining.
picked up a little
Juggernaut.
but. We have the Spin Lords,
5
Jugganax.
seconds
Jugganax.
remaining.
Spin battle, baby. So that'll probably be their number one. Their safe lane farmer down there on the Juggernaut.
Reserve time.
It seems definitely like it's going to be in this case, but then what are you going to pick up for the off lane in this case, for this one?
Yeah, I mean, your Sand King can go off lane to start off with. He'll be able to deal with it, to get a couple of levels before he moves out. It would be pretty hard to stop him from getting any kind of experience up there. You'd have to really anticipate it and bring those invis wards.
I think just an early set of wards and a lot of pulling would really just screw Sand King over in that lane. He'd have
You
to
could,
leave.
but remember, he only needs to reach level 3 before he becomes very effective in the jungle anyway. So, and there's a mid
There's a
laner for
mid
Team
lane
Howick, I
pickup.
would say.
Team pick.
Yep.
So that's going to
The
be
traditional
interesting.
Shadow Fiend mid lane. We still haven't seen a mid lane from the Radiant though, so all that to come.
Yeah, not really sure what we're going to see Shadow
I
Fiend
think
kind of build into here.
we're gonna. I
There's their
think
offlaner.
yeah, there's the off laner. And I think for the Radiant, I'd be looking towards maybe Razor. Razor, really good mid laner, builds tanky, steals damage in the middle of team fights. Great way to also help against Silencer because you just cast the static link to begin with.
Yeah, he's going to be another
Unless
one of
it's
those.
channeled.
He's if in oh my god, words. In this case, if ClickTime picks up a Razor, he's going to be a mech carrying you know, first build Razor from the mid lane here. You could also have someone build something akin to a Viper to do very much the same job. If you
Yeah, I think a
pick up a
Viper would be a
mech
good
into a
pick too.
Manta or something with that Viper, he's quite tanky. You can purge the silence from the silencer ult and keep that team alive to really get some early game push, because when we see this Blink Dagger come online fairly quickly with the Sand King, obviously Clockwork, if he's solo offlane, will get that level 6 at a fairly decent rate. Juggernaut can really join the fights at the end fairly safely with Spin and Omni Slash if he doesn't do too much else. So if you have that
Even could play
Viper
it
or...
aggressively towards their lineup currently. You just have to avoid the axe, which I guess
Yeah,
is a little bit tricky.
yeah, because it depends how they lane this axe. If he goes jungle, we'll probably see him get a fairly quick Blink Dagger. Offlane, he may have a bit of trouble.
An Omni
We
Knight pickup.
Omni Knight. So you're expecting to see a very hard carry as the last one here, and see maybe the axe
It
on the
probably
offlane?
would be. I'd be looking to at least get rid of Spec, because that gets rid of one of the really strong global heroes that
Yeah.
build perfectly to the late. And
The
even then, though, I think the Omni Knight's not a great pickup, because you can run Jug into a Diffusal. He's definitely a fine Diffusal blade carrier.
Yeah. You can also Omni Knight PA is quite a nasty combo, but if you think about the Juggernaut's ultimate, it does kind of go through everything they have anyway, and
Hmm.
ends up being quite a fairly decent counter to that PA. Ban out the Tinker, so they're getting rid of a mid laner here, because we expect this Juggernaut to go bottom lane, I mean, Mask of Madness has been the popular build at the Drow Ranger
Power Ranger to the mid.
to the mid lane, I
An
guess.
interesting
Yeah,
pickup indeed. Um,
that is an
Much to say
interesting
on this
pickup.
one. It'll come down to last hits in the mid lane. If Dro can build a sizable lead before Shadowfiend gets his razors up, then she's won the
Oh,
lane.
well,
But
yeah, but Drow has a
got to build a
pretty
sizable lead.
terrible last hit animation and not very good damage at the start of the game either. Before she
Hmm.
hits level 6, she's not great at last hitting. I expect the Shadow Fiend to really dominate that lineup.
It's a very
Although,
weird one,
you
I'd
know,
have to say.
the Shadow Fiend doesn't have escapes. He relies on the fact that if Drow goes on him or has a gank on him with anyone else, he really can't get away if she's got those frost arrows. He really has to rely on the fact that he can turn around with those razors and get a kill before he goes down. And there's a hard
Morphling pickup.
carry.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've had a couple of interesting last picks here, eh?
Making a new meta, boys. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, it's gonna be gonna be good fun. So I haven't
It's
seen a Morphling pickup in a hell of a long time.
BI as far as a big pickup.
I mean, it's still a hero I really like. He gets those stats building early. You've got the space to be able to do what you need with that silencer ulti, the Omni Knight backing you up, and the axe jumping in there. So he could really pay off here, but he does have to be quite careful of the disables on Lion and that silence by Drow.
That's the one thing that Team Howick does not have. Any full-on disables.
Yeah,
The only thing they
apart from
might
the
do
axe
is if
call.
you run a support Morphling, which I have seen actually quite
Yeah.
recently.
For the 4-second stuns.
4-second stuns. 4-second
Yeah.
adaptive strike stuns.
I don't know if they really have the damage early game to make use of that though.
That's what I'm wondering, because I think ClickTime's going to win the laning phase, just based on what we can see currently.
Yeah. So if we run through the lineup, on the Radiant side we have Pac-Man playing our Sand King. On our Lion we have Newbie 2K Player. For our Drow we have GYP. For our Clockwork we have Somatic, or Elam Somatic even. And for our Juggernaut here we have Davro. So we're going to have the Juggernaut going to the bottom lane like we thought. We've got that Clockwork on the off lane here, and it looks like our lanes for Radiant are much what we thought. So if you want to run through the dire lineup.
Sure thing. So we got on Team Howick first up, we have T-Roy playing the Axe, heading towards the bot lane. We'll have Shadow Fiend. We'll have the Shadow Fiend being taken up by Justin, heading towards the mid lane. Hart will be on our Morphling. Arg will be on the Silencer, and Sinoj will be on the Omni Knight. Looks like we're gonna have an Omni Knight Axe off lane lineup, possibly looking to cut, but I doubt it. They just spotted the ward there. Magic Bush ain't gonna be paying off. Then we have Silencer up to the top lane with the safe carry Morphling, and yeah. That's the dire lineup.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to have an even rune trade here. Looks like Shadow Fiend's going to get this top one uncontested, and bottom lane they're going to grab one with the tri lane here as well.
Maybe an interesting tri-lane Axe Omni. I don't think it's gonna go well for Axe and Omni in this case.
Yeah, they've got a lot of disable down here, and the spin from Axe, though they have quite a lot of damage. Well, not from Axe, from Omni Juggernaut. So they have quite a lot of damage, but you do also have to remember that the spins from Axe are physical. So they will go through that magic immunity from Juggernaut. That doesn't provide a hell of a lot of protection for them. It's more going to be used as an aggressive spell on this lane.
The Blade Fury, sorry.
The Blade Fury, yeah. We probably won't see this Axe Omni Knight lane cutting. It's going to be quite a dangerous thing to do, but they can really kind of push in and do a lot of damage on this lane and really bully the other team off if they want to. Now, they're going to have to deward this quite quickly, which we see here. He actually misses it. What's he looking for here? Pac-Man just walking around, not really doing a lot there.
Not looking.
No, not looking. He's walking around. Where
Even
the
though
hell?
they
Where the hell's the
actually
ward?
saw that.
Come on, boy. You
Come
can
on,
find
there
it.
we go.
Yeah, come on. You've seen it. What are you doing?
There we go. He's got it.
Hey, claps for Pac-Man. As we see this axe moving up and being quite aggressive here. Shadow Fiend really pushing up on this Drow Ranger in the mid lane. If you take a look at the last hits here, we've got Drow on
Ooh.
almost dying. In fact, first
Yeah,
blood goes
first
down
blood.
already. Wow.
I hope you got that one.
Yeah, I caught that one. The Shadow Fiend just dominating. The Drow has one last hit and one death already against the Shadow Fiend.
As I said, it needed to be done in the early game for her, because her base damage is about 6 points higher than your base Shadow Fiend, because he starts off with that 46. Though he does, in this case, have a Wraith Band, so it'd be about even, but...
Yeah, what they really needed is they needed a smoke gank kind of level 1 on the Shadow Fiend to really try and get a kill on him, because if they went level 1 Frost Arrows with a smoke gank from their 2 stunners, there's a potential for a kill, and if not, you just leave the Lion in lane for just like 1 or 2 waves to ensure that the Shadow Fiend doesn't get anything and the Drow gets some last hits and gets a decent start. Otherwise, it's going to be, as it's turning out, a very, very tough lane for that Drow Ranger in your mid.
In fact, as I thought, the lanes are a bit weird.
Yeah. Morphling here, got Basilius, probably going to get into that Aquila. Good stats early on in the mana regen to continue to farm a little bit with the waveform and make sure it's up for those escapes that you need as well.
See the ward up here? I can't see it, but I can see it on the minimap.
I can see the ward. Just here.
It's not actually showing up on my screen.
Weird.
Huh,
As we
interesting.
see Bottle, Wraithband, and Boots now on the Shadow Fiend. Level 4 as well. So doing pretty well in this mid lane. It's a good matchup for him. If you take a look at the last hits and denies here for both teams, then, you know, we have
Those
one...
3 top spots holding him by the dire here.
Yeah. Axe actually topping the charts right now. Getting right up and personal.
Oh!
Oh!
Straight onto the Omni.
Shit, the damage coming out from that.
Cheapest healing in the game right there.
Yeah, good thing he had his healing ward up there.
We've definitely been dropping low.
Axe looking like he
Axe
might be
looking
going to
to
cut here. Omni Knight not with a soul ring yet, but not too far off if he wants to try and get one.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
just need to make that Omni needs to make sure he's close to get some of the XP here.
yeah, he does need to get those levels, and if they can get some kills to get a quick soul ring on that Omni Knight to allow him to spam out those infinite heals would really help this lane.
Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about was the fact that both of the spells that they're going to use to hit Juggernaut go right through his Blade Fury.
We see a smoke gank come to the mid lane here, but they're walking straight up through the lane. I'm not sure if this is going to pay off. They see the Shadow Fiend, but
stun hits.
second stun hits.
They need to get ahead of him and block him.
There's no frost arrows up on this Drow. She's gone stats only. I don't think they can get the kill here. He's going to pick up another rune as well. Just as luck. Clockwork Rocket comes in as well.
Clockwork coming in.
Cogs?
That's dead for the mid lane here.
That will be one death on the
go
Shadow
down.
Fiend. It goes to the offlaner as well, the Clockwork, who is having a lot of trouble up on that top
very
lane.
nice for him though.
And yeah,
That'll
that's
bring
going to
him
help
back
out.
into the game a little bit.
Got an Invis rune on the Omni Knight here. I don't think he's going to do much except grab some experience from the mid lane.
Walk in and heal on them.
Yeah. We've got the Tranquil Boots up on the Axe and 800 gold at the moment as well. As he's just
Continuously punishing that Juggernaut.
bullying this Juggernaut. Having said that, with that healing ward, Juggernaut doesn't really care, as long as he's got the mana
He's
for
keeping his mana low though,
it. Yeah.
meaning that if he gets his Omni Slash anytime soon, it's not going to be that
Going on the
effective.
Clockwork top, I don't know if they can actually get this kill though. Doing a lot of damage, but not quite going to secure it in the end.
That bottle helping out there too.
Yeah. Clockwork not doing too badly now.
Do you agree with this Dro build currently? I'm not a fan of it. I think that you need at least level 1 or 2 into the Frost Arrows, because that would have made that kill so much easier before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a fan of Frost Arrows, especially if you're going to be in a mid lane matchup. Being able to harass without pulling that creep aggro is a really big deal. And it also, you know, I mean, it's only 15% slow at level 1, but that still helps a lot if your supports decide to come in and gank like they did just before.
And here we go, first pull. First cut.
Yeah, well, second, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like they've got the creeps spawning in the jungle, but no stacks coming out so far from the Radiant team for Pac-Man. Now still only level 2.
Lots of pulling happening on the top lane, which is very good to see.
Juggernaut really keeping his mana full here. He should be fairly safe on that lane. They'd have to dive him pretty hard to be able to do much to him, and he is level 6 as well, so it's a dangerous thing to
We
do.
have a rotation by Axe and Omni in towards the mid lane to catch out this Dro.
Or to
Perfect timing.
farm a stack.
Oh, got a farm a stack.
I don't know if Drow's seen this. She's being forced a long way back. She's actually gone power treads. I was thinking she might try and build into a Midas with the gloves of haste that she picked up. I mean, she's
I don't
getting
think that'd be a smart option against them though.
well, she's getting a bit hurt in the mid lane, and I was thinking she might try and play for it a bit late and try and get some catch up with a decent timed Midas from the mid lane. But it looks like she's gonna still get up those early game kind of littler items and really try and make use of the fact that once she hits 6, she gets a massive boost in power.
The thing you gotta watch out for and be a little bit wary though is that she would have no stats in that case. It's a big investment, so the amount of gold you get later won't really pay off.
Yeah. This bottom lane's still just going as you'd expect. I mean, they're trying to bully this Juggernaut, but with level 2 on that healing ward and the Basilius up, they're not really achieving anything from it. So it's kind of even farm going either way. The Juggernaut not having too bad a lane here. It could be better. Axe getting a lot. Oh, up to 47 last hits now, along with this Shadow
really
Fiend.
close to that fast blink too, at 1,900 gold on his net worth list.
Yeah. Shadow Fiend gonna
gold list, sorry.
jump back into the jungle and farm a little bit in here. Looks like he's got headdress flying out to him, so I think we might see an early mech up on him. As they've found the Omni Knight here, but with the Repel and the level 1 and the Degen Aura, it's very difficult for a melee hero to do anything to
Looks
him.
like they're turning around to gank on this Axo, which is a very smart option here. It's
Yeah.
the Juggernaut ult.
It's a kill they could get, especially with that Juggernaut ulti up.
Axe,
We'll see.
Axe really needs to sit close.
Stun, they're not even going to need to use it. Down he goes.
Yeah.
That was a good wraparound there. They actually... There was
Might have
actually
been
no
better
ward
if
from
you
the
ran.
Dire. Just
Then that would have forced out the Omni Slash. Have it on cooldown.
if he did what, sorry?
If he ran away from the creep wave, because then Juggernaut would have had his opening for it. At least forcing the ult, because you're dead either way.
I guess.
Funny how close wards can get.
Yeah. There's a lot of wards springing up down near this bottom lane. It's where all the action's happening. It's where the supports are from the Radiant side, and it's where they're kind of moving around and happen. So it's where both teams kind of want their vision right now. Morphling still has the Silencer up supporting him on top lane, even though there's nobody there with them. Just making sure he really gets this decent early game. He's got the Ring of Health up at the moment.
So heading into a Lincoln Sphere build to counter a bit of the disable.
Yeah, as we see a Haster and Clockwork come by and just say hello to our Shadow Fiend before he backs off. Forced a TP actually.
Yeah,
the Silencer.
came in to
So not
Puts
too bad
him
from
in
the
V-ward.
Clockwork. It's given him a solo lane against the Morphling for a little while. See a ping come out on Pac-Man here. Spotted him with this ward, but it looks like
They got spotted by that one.
yep, they got spotted by the same Radiant ward. So nothing gonna happen there.
Nothing
Whoa,
too
whoa,
much happening
camera.
right now. It seems
What was
both
that?
teams are content on farming and maybe just slapping each other a couple times when they
Yeah.
go past.
Both teams are fairly content just kind of doing what they need, but we are gonna see those Blink Dagger come up on Axe now. So
Hopefully we'll see a bit more action coming in. Axe
Yeah.
forcing a few more fights.
I feel like we really will see some stuff start to happen now with
Looks like
this
it's a
Axe.
rotation to try and gank him, but no.
Yeah, if you take a look at hero levels, everyone's, we've got the Silencer and Omni not far off 6. In fact, really not far. The Radiant support's just a little further behind, but that Sand King should be able to catch up. He needs to really start farming that jungle a bit more. He should have his Blink Dagger in, a few more minutes. Unless he He shouldn't really be following the Lion around like this unless they actually have a game plan. He really needs to be farming that jungle.
Blink, and they're looking at... Oh, so close on the Juggernaut down bot lane.
Ooh. So that was a blink call initiation, was it?
Blink call initiation into, I think it was also a heal bomb based on Omni Knight's mana.
Do you think Drow here is building a Mask of Madness or a Helm of the Dominator?
It should be a mom build. She's taking no... Well, now she's taking a point in Frost Arrows.
Yeah. It's going to give
But
her a
I'm
lot of
guessing
damage,
possibly.
but we see an initiation in mid lane by the Clockwork. Two TPs come in, but he's going to be dead straight away. Are they going to be able to get anything back? Did that hit him? Just didn't seem to do any damage from the Sand King stun.
Oh, he still gets the call off. Slam dunk, Reno.
I don't think he's enough mana. No, it's on cooldown.
Slam
He's missed
dunk.
it just before.
Ah.
Juggernaut comes in with the ulti, and this is going to be a return kill.
In fact, it was 2 for none.
Yeah. I don't know how they managed to lose not
Clockwork's
lose
squeaking
anyone.
away somehow.
Big swing there for ClickTime, actually. Even though they didn't quite have what they needed on lanes, if you look at hero levels now, we now have Drow and Juggernaut at the top of the table.
So
And
the
if we
levels
take-
are still pretty early. Then,
If we take a look at net worth, we still have the Shadow Fiend topping it and the Morphling in third, just behind the Juggernaut. But we do also have both the supports from the Dire side down at the bottom of that table.
Yeah, definitely sacrificed for the greater good in this case.
Yeah. I mean, they've got those levels. Silencer's got his level 6, so he's kind of got whatever he needs for a while now. He'll get farm where he can to provide things like wards, maybe try and get that 4 stuff.
I
But
think
other
that
than that,
should transition him to the number 4 support if they're running him on 5 now, which I don't think they are.
yeah,
Because then you can run him into getting some items that are going to be helpful, as you said, a 4 staff, or maybe even looking towards building into Refresher.
yeah, with that
Just
kind
to be
of
secure.
uncontested top lane, really, then he's got quite a lot of gold from pulling. This Omni Knight really does not have much. He's just sitting on that
Clockwork
bottom
seems to be
lane.
looking for the silencer here, and might run into him.
Actually found
Here
him.
he
He
goes.
does have
Very
Click
good.
shot up. Click shot. That's going to be one dead Silencer. Morphling not going to be able to get a return kill here, I don't think. Yeah, just misses that waveform. It would have been close if that had hit.
Only had the 4-second stun.
Yeah. Axe still with his Blink Dagger up, but he's not level 8 yet. If we take a look at the hero level, we have 3 heroes at level 10 now.
Definitely heading on towards that level, that second level ultimates. Big ones should be definitely Dro's one that's coming up soon, and
All of them are big ultimates. The Shadow Fiend level 2 ultimate is where it really starts to do quite a lot of damage, and the Juggernaut level 2 ultimate increases its damage by a hell of a lot as well.
though I would like to see a little priority on getting Lion his level 6 and also Sand King is level 6.
Well, that
Lion
Sand...
purely because that burst is early useful, not late. So
Yeah. That Sand King really, really needs his Blink Dagger. He's doing a lot of roaming right now and just not really getting a lot done. The Sand King and Lion just kind of moving
he's
back
only
and
about
forward. Quite literally right now, in
750 of
fact.
it now.
Just
Just to gank the bot lane here.
running back and forward right on top of a dire ward here. The Clockwork
Full-on
comes in on the
silence
bottom
just went
lane,
up too.
but it's
Very
just going
scary.
to TP out.
You know a cool trick you can do with Repel there? Repel the Clockwork removes the DD rune.
Yeah, it does. It won't remove that stun though, he would have still died. We got
I
the Helm of the
Doing
Dominator
that,
up on
though,
this
and then
Drow.
running axe and would have killed the Clockwork.
Actually, with this Helm of the Dominator on Drow and the Alpha
Dominator.
Wolf, then the Drow actually puts herself in a position where she can do a very early Roshan.
Yes. Especially with the help of the Clockwork as well.
She's got the mechanism up on the Shadow Fiend now. Let's take a look at the golden EXP graphs, shall we? So net worth, as we see it, was going quite a long way in Team Howick's favour, but with that last fight in mid and the 2 kills just
Start
around
evening out.
this point here, it started evening out a lot, and it's only just over 1,000 gold here, starting to kind of plateau. And very similar with the EXP, except it's much closer to 0 difference.
Yeah.
And the mid tower goes down to that Shadow Fiend.
You'll see another little dip towards Howick in this case.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to see the Shadow Fiend transitioning into the ever-popular Yule Scepter build recently to
the
really
castle
accelerate
build.
that farm and maybe get some pickoffs with that high level?
At the moment, it seems like he is, based on the amount of gold he's holding on to. But he could have also started to buy the parts by now to begin with, so
Yeah.
it's still up in the air because he hasn't actually bought anything.
A lot of top players don't really buy the parts until either they're going to die or they have enough money for kind of the whole thing.
But sometimes you do need the stats, though. I wouldn't agree with not buying the parts when you can. Looks like they're going up on top lane. Slam dunk gone. That didn't even take long.
Yeah,
Good to see that
absolutely
they're
obliterated.
moving into the
Clockwork
objectives
actually
now.
hooking in here,
Comes in.
and he's going to get annihilated. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking. There's no one to back him up.
No.
Axe blinking
Lapse in
forward a
concentration,
tiny
I
bit,
think.
but call wasn't up, so I'm not quite sure why he used that then and didn't wait. It looks like the Lion's going to be able to get out safely, but they may continue pushing this tier 2 here with the regen rune popping up on the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, with the clock down, there's no real initiation right now, especially because the Sand King still doesn't have his Blink Dagger for that matter.
Apparently
And
I
even
just
then,
have a
no
problem
level
with in-game sound, so I'm just going to figure out what might be causing that. It
Go for it.
should be working.
Silence onto the axe. Oh, unless you have your co-commentator thing not muted.
No, you're muted. I should be, like, now it's... Okay, now it seems to be working. I'm sorry about that,
Okay,
guys.
good.
It looks like my cable was just unplugged a little bit and it wasn't quite picking me up. But
Oh.
hopefully you can hear me now.
Check with the stream. What do they say?
I think the stream could hear me. It was in-game. It couldn't.
Ah. Hopefully they can hear us. We'll find out in a few minutes or so.
Louis so nicely messaged me.
Hey, Louis.
We've got the Mask of Madness up on this Juggernaut, as we expected. Obviously, just giving him
that ultimate.
a hell of a lot of damage with that ultimate. It just works so well with it. Plus the movement speed and attack speed you get from him makes him a seriously hard-hitting carry quite early on. Gives him the ability to farm that jungle up as much as he likes as well. We'll see the Shadow Fiend teleporting to bot lane to go and get that farm.
You can tell this extra strike damage actually occurs when the attack speed becomes 0.75 attacks per second. 0.75, yeah, attacks per second in this case. And as you can see on his little attack speed reading there, once you hit that mom, he gets into that level, which means that he gets off at least 3 strikes, a strike in between each possible jump. So in this case, you get a bonus 3 strikes.
Well, he's got 6 hits
And
now
they hurt.
with the Omni Slash.
Yes,
Level
you get
2.
a bonus 3 regular hits in it. So
See a
in
blink
between
call. This is a
those-
very, very aggressive blink call here. His team is quite a long way away, but the global silence is going to come out. It's going to make him last long enough with this DD, and his team's going to show up. We see a Hex coming out as everyone tries to escape. The Yules comes out from that
Radiant
Shadow Fiend, and they go in. The good stun comes out here. Another blink
that
call as the waveform comes in very aggressively from this Morphling, and there's the first dunk as they go on this Drow. With the Sand King coming back in behind, he's going to get off a great ulti, but he's going to drop as well. Drow doing a lot of damage here in the ulti pot from this Omni Knight, and they should be able to escape. With the spin coming out from the Juggernaut actually getting a kill.
In the
And-
end, after all that, we've got a 2-for-1 trade.
2 for 1, unless... Looks like they're still going. Tried to be sneaky,
Clockwork
but could
looking
just
for
be seen
initiation
there.
on the top here.
This fight might not be over yet. If this clock manages to catch out someone... This could be a dead silencer, I think. Yep. They're going to sacrifice him for the rest of the team. Morphling is going to get out. So in the end, 2 for 2 trade, was it not?
Yeah, a 2-for-2 trade in the end. I thought it was going to be a 2-for-1.
It was Axe and Silencer for... Who died on the other team? Sand King and Clockwork?
Yeah, no,
Did Clock die and
Clockwork,
come back?
Survived that.
Who else died? Did
Tanking
Lion?
went down, Lion went down, I'm pretty sure.
Right, so I'm not quite sure if that was worth it with losing the Axe. Well, it looks like they're going to get a
Looks
return
like
kill
they're
on the
gonna
Clockwork
kill
here
them
anyway. Going into a Sange, it looks like this might be a Hellbird on the Drow. Unless you think she might
No, she just picked up the rest of Yasha and her
Yeah.
stash there.
Just going to be a Sange and Yasha build. Axe following really closely. That slow is really heavy now. It doesn't last quite as long, but the I don't
12%
quite know whether to call it a buff or a nerf since the change, but it's probably better for chasing.
Oh,
The frog flying
Wow.
through the air slowly, and here
Yules
comes that
Scepter coming
Yules. No
First
stun
raise.
up. He could easily go down.
Oh,
Oh, and this is going to be 2. Chop. And both supports go down again
Bloody
along
good
with that
stuff,
Clockwork. Howick really just pushing through here and are going to really try and get this bottom tier. Bottom tier 2. They've got all those items up that they need. They've got the Yules and Mech on that Shadow Fiend. They've got the Blink Dagger on the Axe along with the Vanguard now. They've got the ultimate from the Silencer, which is all they want. And they're not far off that Lincoln's on the Morphling now. Actually got,
Definitely good item progressions coming alongside for the Dire here.
yeah. Actually got the Soul Ring up on the Omni Knight as well. Whereas if we look at the Radiant side, we're still about 600 gold off Blink Dagger for the Sand King. He really needed to
Really need
prioritize
to
that a little
focus
bit
the
early.
element
We're
down.
20 minutes through for a hero that should be getting it very easily from the jungle farm he can get, and he still doesn't have it. That Lion with nothing as well, but he's playing our 5 support. I don't expect anything on him. Drow with decent farm. She's doing a lot in these team fights. Clockwork also doing a lot. Looks like he's going to be getting a 4-staff for the team. Obviously just a fantastic utility item. Not bad for a Clockwork as well. If you have a ranged hero hitting you while you're in cogs, if you hit 4-staff on them, you can actually 4-staff them into your cogs with you quite frequently.
In fact, you can also trap them, so you ulti in, hit them a few times, and when you realize you're out of luck, you just 4-staff yourself out.
Yeah, do you remember a little
Like
while ago
Lions under attack here?
there was a video on YouTube posted about how you can be quite annoying to heroes that have an escape that requires mana early on with the Clockwork, and it required, I think it was a 4-staff. What you could do is I think you hook shot in, and while the stun's going, you walk a little way to the side of them, use your cogs so it pushes them backwards away from you, but they're still facing you, and as they're getting knocked back by the cogs, you 4-staff them back through again, and it hits them 2 or
hit the
3
next
times
sets.
with cogs for mana.
Very tricky combo to pull off.
Very tricky to pull off, but if you're up against something like a anti-mage or something like that, you can really hinder them by burning. I mean, how much does it burn? 200 a hit, isn't it? At last level, he's only got at level 1. So you can burn 600 mana like that if you really hit it right, and stop that anti-mage from being able to get away early game. There's another tier 2. Tier 2 just drops very easily in mid, and we got 3,600 gold here.
Yeah.
What do you think the Shadow Fiend's going to buy?
I don't know.
Hey, Aaron
World's
Amazing,
oyster.
NZ player. How you doing?
I'd say you could pick up probably anything in this case. Maybe a butterfly. Top of my head, you know, you could go for anything. You're very much ahead. I'd maybe even go to crits. Would probably be my bet. I would go into crits or maybe a desolator. That way you can push the towers down early and also deal a heck of a load of damage with Shadow Fiend. Very good deso carrier.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see a Crimson Guard out on the axe here. It's obviously a very good item against both Drow and the Omni Knight heroes. We might have a fight.
In here, and we've got the Blink Dagger up, and he whiffs most of the ultimate there.
It's still doing a fair amount of damage though. He's going to drop really fast as the silence comes out, and this really delays that team fight. Juggernaut ulti going off, doing work, and their Omni Knight drops fast.
Is down. He's going for the Roshan.
I don't know if he was going for the Roshan or just trying to escape there and fog them, but he ended up going down anyway, and it looks like this Lion is going to go down as well.
Whoa. The 3-for-1 trade on that.
Yeah, plus the Roshan as well. I mean, they did not have the Drow with them. She was top lane that whole time, but still,
top tower though.
I would say a very good exchange for Team Howick. And if we look at
Definitely
the
not
gold
bad, but they
and
got a good
EXP change here, it was definitely in their favor as well through the fight recap.
Yeah, 1,400 up, minus 300 for the Radiant. The good thing is, though, they did manage to take a tier 3 on top lane, so that means that these sets of racks here and here are definitely exposed, so a good opportunity to hopefully do some split pushing.
We
Hopefully make the
finally
game
have
drive
that
longer for you.
blink dagger on Sand
He
King.
did. He got it down here and blinked in back here.
And didn't quite go far enough.
He got there.
He did some damage with that ulti. He did some damage. We've got our 4-staff on the Clockwork now. We've got a Sanjin Yasuo up on both Drow and our Juggernaut, actually.
Quite interesting that they're both doing mid-game carry here.
Yeah.
I
It
guess
looks-
that is because they need to end it soon.
It looks like I was wrong about that, and we're actually going to have a hood come out on the axe here. So quite easily, probably going to be going into both Pipe and Crimson Guard here, as they don't cost too much to transition into, and both will really help your team out. We've got the Boots of Travel up on our Shadow Fiend, and it looks like he's going to be transitioning into a BKB here as well. Morphling has the Yasha, we'll be getting a Manta on him. Going for the Aghanims on the Silencer, actually not far off now, about
Only
400 gold.
400, yeah.
And just, more wards. Finally got Mana Boots on the Omni Knight, so he's got a little bit more max mana to play with here as we see the Clockwork being initiated on top, but really nothing going to come of it. Axe just heads
Down
back to the
bottom lane,
jungle.
we've got Shadowfin going on to the Drow Ranger. Slightly misses the combo there, but still
Good
gets a few
silence,
good
and they might
raises.
actually be able to turn this around if the Lion can get close enough to and whiff a stun.
Oh, big stun whiff there.
Bot stuns coming out.
Yeah, Morty bots on it.
Morty bots on your
No,
case.
don't worry. I do that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I do it as well, but it's still, like, you shouldn't really be doing it. It's not like a Nick stun where you have to aim it on the ground, and we've got a full BKB out on the Shadow Fiend now. That really did not take long.
No. Very quick flash farmer. Two
Yeah.
razors move on, two razors move on.
Yeah, he's quite fantastic at that, eh?
Yeah.
We've
It
got
seems
an
that they're all grouping a push on top lane here.
ultimate
Dire
orb on the
side.
Drow. I mean, we're gonna see a Scardies?
No, we're probably going to see into a Manta style build
Yeah.
in this case. But
That's kind of what I'd expect.
I don't think you'd be wanting to go anything with Lincolns because there's nothing that really you want to stop popping.
Yeah, there's not really anything that Lincoln's is useful. So it looks like they're going to try and grab this tier 1 before they have to defend back, teleport back and defend the racks.
I
They're
think
gonna
they're not
send
going to
back-
get that one.
Clock and Sand King in behind. They're going to take this down fast. You underestimate how much Drow does to towers. I'm surprised there's no Fortify coming out from Howick
But
there.
they've lost 3/4 of their HP on their main tower.
Yep, but they can still take a good fight here as Clockwork initiates and the silence comes out, but the BKB pops. And that's the global silence we're talking about.
Look at
Doing
that
a lot
full
there.
Reset.
As Pac-Man doesn't actually manage to get off his ultimate, and that ends up being pretty bad. Aegis on Shadow Fiend means that he doesn't even care when he goes down.
Looks like Morphling might go down. Whoa.
Almost. Drow doing a lot of damage here. I'm really surprised that the Juggernaut went for the Sanjin Yasha as opposed to the Manta. That Manta allows you to break the...
Scepter pickup would have been a little bit better, I think, on that one.
Well, oh man, that was a fantastic call. Both of those heroes dropping fast. A buyback on the Drow, but the Mask of Madness getting this Juggernaut killed very fast here on the front lines. And it looks like this is going to be an easy Rax. And if they take
Easy
out
Rax,
this...
probably into GG in this case.
Yeah, if they take out the Drow again, this is going to be a double Rax here.
Drow is hitting pretty hard though.
Hitting very hard when they let her. And it looks like they're just going to back out.
Looks like Omni's gonna go down here.
Yeah, that's one easy kill on the
healing
Omni
for you,
Knight.
mate.
Oh,
Gonna let him
Clockwork's
look
got a great find here on the Silencer, so that's going to be 2 supports dropping here.
Here's the finger. That's what I've been waiting for the whole game.
So it looks like they're going to get some return for the lost Rax and lost fight there, but that was quite a heavy win in favour of
Certainly a
Team
worthwhile
Howick.
trade for Team Howick here.
Yeah, but what keeps happening, and this is what I was talking about in terms of getting your Manta style instead of your Sanjin Yasha. Sure, your Sanjin Yasha gives you a little bit more movement speed, and it gives you a little bit more tankability, but when he runs into that fight, the Silencer just pops his ulti, and the team wails on this Juggernaut, and he can't let off his ultimate. And when he can't do that, he really can't engage in those fights until the Silencer ulti's gone. Whereas when you've got that Manta early game, you run in, Silencer pops his ulti, you just Manta it off an ulti. It's not a big deal until he gets that refresher.
Yeah, that's definitely a good read on that. Like, even I would even go so far to say that the Agnum Scepter build would be a slight bit better, costing almost the same amount, in fact. And you know, you get an extra 3 or 4 slashes off. If your ult goes off, then it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Whereas S and Y, all we got really was a bit of damage, a bit of tankability.
It gives them a little bit
Might give you
more...
a few more slashes in between the ult, but I don't think it's worth it considering the other pickups you can get.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit more ability to farm faster as well. But you run into the same problem with the Aghanim Scepter with the Silencer ulti as well.
And I'm definitely saying I'm
Yeah.
meaning it's above picking up a Sanjin Yasha in my opinion. Like meant to being the top pick.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that he didn't, as we have the Axe with a full pipe now. So it looks like they're going to push straight again down mid. We've got no Aegis this time, remember, and the Shadow Fiend did go down in the last fight before they managed to pick off the Drow, etc. So there is still a chance here for
Well, you're
ClickTime.
right. It looks like she's going for a Skadi. With the double ultimate or pickup.
So it does. Does she just not want to have to use Frost Arrows? That is... Does it
Frost arrows are
stack?
stronger than the Skadi.
Does it
No,
stack?
They do not stack.
Are you sure? Oh, we see the blink come in, and the Drow's been caught already. I don't think they're going to be able to bring her down already, though. That's an early Silencer ult. They might have to back off here with that down as well. No Aegis and no Silencer ulti. And everything up on... Well, okay, we have no Sand King ulti, but he just didn't have enough mana, actually. So everything up
coming
on
up
the
very
side
soon.
of the Radiant here. Going to be able to do a lot of damage here. I think it's going to
They're
be...
looking to bait on the X.
Wow.
Good double calls here. Here we go into the Shadow Fiend ultimate.
Hitting very hard as well. The Drow in behind the team, actually, but she's now got everybody on her, and we're going to have a failed blink from the Axe.
Sit on top lane.
Drow just going to hit some creeps on the way back. Tower's still alive right now, but both those supports dying off again early as well. We had some absolutely fantastic initiations from this Axe early game, as Drow really tries to do what she can. Sitting on those front lines quite tanky, and Clockwork going in, Catching a whole bunch of them and using his 4-star to get out. Good move there. And the Omni Slash finally coming out, doing a lot of damage, and the Shadow Fiend's going to pop. Good, great silence coming out, but I think this Morphling is going to be just a little bit too tanky for them to take out in time. The Axe not with any mana here, and Diffusal removing his magic immunity. He is going to drop as well. This is really down to whether this Clockwork...
Good turnaround here. This Clockwork needs to capture the Morphling.
Morphling has enough mana. He's going to get out. They need to try and grab the Silencer, but it looks like they've found him on the back lanes with Pac-Man, and that Silencer is going to drop to the Drow. And he's stuck in the trees. They're picking it out. Yeah, they've found him here.
They don't know. You don't get sight from that.
Yeah.
They won't know.
They might just leave him.
They think he's gone.
And he's going to escape. I wonder if that was planned. Yeah, I'll just blink into the trees. Everything will be fine.
I think they're going to, if they look at the replay on this, they're going to be a little bit facepalm.
Yeah, because Juggernaut was the one who actually pinged him out, but what could they really do about it? They'd have to Sand King stun into the trees. Oh, no, they could Rocket Flare to get sight.
Yeah, no Rocket Flare came out for them on that one. There goes a Rocket Flare.
I think we're going to be seeing an Aghanims on this Clockwork, which is going to be quite useful, because with the 4-staff up already, he can initiate multiple times, get out, and just make quite a nuisance of himself. But he is a little way off.
It's a 9-minute Roshan on this one, so a little bit long. 1 minute longer than usual, correct?
Yeah.
8 minute on the respawn?
Yeah, it is a minute longer. So we see the Crimson Guard on Axe, like I expected as well. If we take a look back at items, let's see how the progression's going. We've now got a Blink Dagger on the Lion as well, so hopefully we won't see him walking too close and getting caught out by this Axe anymore. Hopefully. We've got the Scardy pickup on the Drow, and we've got the Diffusal on the Juggernaut that we saw in the last fight, but not a huge item.
The timing of Roshan.
Was that the Radiant? Yeah, with the Rocket Flare that you
Radiant
saw.
got the time for the Roshan. Morphling's picked up his Manta style now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he have that before?
Not that I know of, no. So it looks like he's picked up the Manta, and he's got
going into a
Helm with a Dominator?
Quick smoke here.
It looks like he might be going into a Satanic build at some point, that Morphling. And we've got the Butterfly coming out for the Shadow Fiend here, but it's
Whoa, he took the rune.
A little way away. I wonder if that was seen, because they did have a ward up here.
There was no pings going out. Oh, this
is going to be one dead Drow here. Oh yeah, Spirit Bomb, bang! Actually not doing that much damage, but with the call and all the rest of the team there, that's going to be...
He got 26 souls on that one. He needs 8 or 9 more.
Choppity chopped by the Axe.
Yeah.
Man, that gives you some serious speed. Omni Knight just boosting up to that Lion.
30% speed buff, it's crazy.
Yeah. And as we mentioned before, there is the Aghanims on the Silencer. And it looks like Aghanims being built very slowly on the Omni Knight as well.
That global...
Sand King going... Nope, gonna survive, just. Lion actually... Oh, no! He's gonna die to the Aghanim Silencer.
You also get the int from that too. It's surprising.
This is gonna be a free Rax here with the Drow down. I don't think there's anything that ClickTime can do.
DPS.
They're gonna have to let this one drop and hope to be able... Oh, Clockwork.
Clockwork wanted to say hi.
Let this one drop and hope, like, delay what they can and hope to be able to re-engage once their other members respawn.
Yeah.
Juggernaut throwing out his ulti already. Oh, there's a buyback. The buyback was obviously planned to come with the ulti, but with the Omni Knight ulti coming out as well, that's going to be another dunk. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh, there goes into the Drow Ranger, and we've got everyone just casting.
Oh, and it looks like she's going to die again with that extra disable, and that's going to be GG. There's going to be this last Rax dropping easily. No buyback on that Drow for 80 seconds.
They could go straight through the mid lane, I think.
Yeah, it really looks like they can't defend without that Drow Ranger.
They'll need to rethink onto match 2 on how to attack a lineup like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had, you know, a decent draft. I think they had the ability to do this.
More early game aggression rather than sitting back as they were, like the rotation to mid and stuff like that. There was none of that for them.
And there's the GG call. And it was a good game actually. You know, while it was 3 Raxes to none, etc., it actually was a fairly close game. Both teams did play well. In the end, I think it did come down to the early game for ClickTime. It wasn't necessarily that they made huge mistakes. They just weren't efficient enough. And
yeah,
one of the big things that comes out with that is the rotations that their Lion and Sand King were making. And the fact that that Blink Dagger on Sand King was delayed by so much because they spent so much time wandering back and forth and didn't really get much done.
Would you call it like roaming without purpose? Like no ability to go gank the mid or anything like that, because all we did see them do was walk up and down onto the bot area where they could either been pulling perhaps or maybe actually ganking the mid lane.
Yeah,
I think they had some good potential early on, and they were looking to do it, but they just needed to really just go for it. Even if it failed, at least you put that type of fear into the mid lane or onto the off lanes, into your off lane, their safe lane in this case. That's where I think it lacked a little bit, and it really did punish them in the time that I thought they were going to be the strongest, which was in that early laning phase.
yeah, I agree. So, we had the potential for very early ganks on that Shadow Fiend in mid to really get that Drow off to a good start. They didn't do that. They let her solo against the Shadow Fiend to start off with, and it was
Who
quite
managed to get a
difficult.
solo kill as well.
Yeah, and the Drow did drop. That's a very tough matchup for a Drow early. They could have done a lot there. They then proceeded to kind of start trying to harass and zone out that bottom lane, which is quite a difficult one to zone out, the Axe Omni Knight. And they weren't particularly effective at that. And Lion was the main one trying to do that job. I'm not really sure where Sand King was, but he had that jungle open to him that entire time. He could have been farming the jungle, let the Lion deal with that bottom lane, and when the time comes that they think they can throw him gank out into the mid lane on the Shadow Fiend, of course no escapes. He's a prime target for ganking like a sniper in mid lane. Then throw out that smoke. Go try and gank, top, mid, bottom, wherever. It was prime for ganks, but you really need to be doing something with your time in between. And they had a little bit more time where they were kind of roaming aimlessly. The Clockwork, Drow, and Juggernaut, I think all did quite a good job. The Juggernaut held his own on the lane on bottom, even though it did seem like he wasn't being supported a lot of the time.
Yeah, it definitely
The
felt like there was a lack into that.
the Drow actually managed to come back fairly well from quite a tough start. The Clockwork didn't have a great lane up top, and admittedly, he had quite a tough time. He was kept quite a low level, but he did kind of come back into it. He ended up with some very good plays actually. So I would say, yeah. So it's a good first
Yeah,
game, and it's really promising for the next one. So
yeah,
join
it's
us
definitely
back.
showing some good ones.
Join us back in about 5 to 10 minutes for the second lobby, and we're going to take a break until then.